Hi everyone, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So today I would like to deliver a presentation on work health and safety policies and procedures. So I'll just begin by making sure you can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see a screen. Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we will start with what work health safety is and what is a worker's duty of care. So firstly, work health safety is the management of risks to the health and safety of everyone in your workplace. This includes the health and safety of anyone who does work for you, as well as other customers, visitors, and suppliers. And the duties of a worker at a workplace are ensuring that the worker himself or herself is safe and that people around them are also safe. You do not do something as a worker that inflicts injuries to yourself or onto your colleagues. So this can be backed up by relevant legislations such as the Work Health and Safety Act 2011 in Queensland, which aims to secure the health and safety of workers and workplaces through the elimination or minimization of risks. The Work Health and Safety Regulations in 2011, also in Queensland, this one requires an assessment of risks and health and safety associated with a hazard, task, thing, or circumstance. So we're going to be looking at the possible risks in Bounce Fitness and in Bounce Fitness policies and procedures. So how they basically assess the risk. So what is risk analysis and what is risk evaluation? So basically risk analysis is a key component in risk assessment, where this is the phase where the level of risk and its nature are assessed and understood. This information is the first input to decision makers on whether risks need to be treated or not, and what is the most appropriate and cost-effective risk treatment methodology. So how do you determine a risk rating? So basically you look at two things. So you look at the likelihood of the risk's occurrence, and you also look at the seriousness of the possible harm that is caused by the risk. So how do you implement controls on the risk using the hierarchy of control? So basically, what is hierarchy of control in the first place? So it is a step-by-step approach to eliminating or reducing risks by ranking risk controls from the highest level of protection and reliability through to the lowest and least reliable protection. So the hierarchy of controls ranks these control methods based on their level of health and safety protection and how reliable they are. So Work Health and Safety Regulations Chapter 3 states that all the duty holders are required to use the hierarchy of control measures when managing risks. So examples of this can be that exercise equipment should be wiped after every use in order to prevent the spread of diseases, contagious diseases from microbes. So, oops. So basically, when do you need to review workplace risks? So this is when you look at so basically after the implementation and monitoring of risks, the center manager must conduct a review of areas that require improvement to maintain the effectiveness of the control measures. So when it comes to fire procedures at Bounce Fitness, if someone observes a fire, which is a very high, which can pose a very high risk to the location, this person should assist any person who may be in immediate danger from the fire. So this is by confining them from the fire. So this is by separating them from the fire and confining the fire by closing doors, etc., to confine the spread of the fire to other places from its origin. So they should also notify the house staff members on duty who shall raise the alarm by telephoning the fire authority. If any house staff members on duty, if any house staff member / members on duty are trained to do so, they should attack the fire with the correct type of fire extinguishers and or other fire equipment if safe to do so, which is also very, very important as a procedure of confining and controlling the fire and its spread. So this table here outlines the emergency plan at Bounce Fitness. So basically each center must review and update in January annually. So this must then be emailed to operations department. Each center must have a completed version of this document. As you can see, this is empty. So this document must be completed so that it's available to local staff in the induction folder. Bounce Fitness emergency and evacuation procedures. These are very important at any place, really. And it's also important in Bounce Fitness. So in an emergency, staff on duty shall assume responsibility for the clients and visitors in the center until the responsibility can be handed over to the senior officer of the attending emergency service. The staff on duty should respond to and coordinate the emergency. They should notify the relevant emergency services of the type and location of the emergency. The staff should decide if an evacuation is appropriate and notify clients and visitors. So some risks, some dangers, some risks may not require immediate evacuation. Turn off or isolate the gas and electricity switches as soon as practicable. Refer to the site plan for the locations of these switches. Communicate all information relating to the emergency and the actions taken to the emergency services personnel on their arrival. Keep records of the actions taken, the nature of the emergency, and any unusual circumstances on the emergency reporting template found under the Documents tab. So in the event of an emergency that may require an evacuation, as I said, not all emergencies may require immediate evacuation, but if it does, then these steps should be applied. So the staff members will check evacuation routes. So to ensure that these routes are safe to use, only the safe routes will be used. The staff members on duty will reassure clients and visitors of their safety and prevent them or subdue their panic, because humans, when in danger or when at risk of danger, they tend to panic naturally. So all clients and visitors should proceed to the appropriate assembly area. The staff members on duty will collect the sign-in sheet and retain responsibility for it throughout the evacuation. If there is more than one staff member on duty, one house staff member should lead the evacuation. The staff members on duty will assist any persons requiring special attention, including mobility impaired persons. So these are people who require special assistance because of their disabilities. On arrival at the assembly area, the staff members on duty will conduct a head count. If any personnel are unaccounted for, the manager on duty shall be immediately notified. And lastly, the staff members, the duty staff members shall check every room of the building, including bathrooms, storerooms, to ensure no person is remaining in the premises. So what kinds of incidents are necessary to be reported? Not every incident may be necessary. It depends on the level of risk and the hazard. So an incident, a near miss or hazard report. So basically, these are the things that need to be reported urgently. Who should workers report incidents to? So the workers should report these incidents to the center manager, or work health and safety officer. So what is the process for the review of incident reports? The manager or supervisor must ensure the implementation and monitoring of the recommendations on the action plan by the dates stipulated on the plan. The recommendations or actions must be reviewed post-implementation to ensure that they are effective in reducing risks, ensure that the implementation has not created additional hazards. The manager or supervisor must ensure also that this review takes place and that the date of the review is documented on the action plan. So, consultation. So, scheduling of consultations. So basically, a consultation is where the policies and procedures are consulted in Bounce Fitness. So Bounce Fitness conducts bi-monthly consultations of work health and safety with the workplace staff. And this is to identify changes and improvements to improve the health and safety of the workplace. And when is it required? So this is required to eliminate newly arising risks and to put controls to mitigate the risks and to make changes to the policies and procedures and to inform workers about the changes. Whom to consult? So the center manager should consult workers as they identify a risk or hazard and vice versa immediately. The nature of the consultation. So the workers at the workplace, they are encouraged to ask questions or raise concerns in the consultation, if any. They're also encouraged to make recommendations on safety of the workplace and also be actively part of the problem-solving process in order to ensure safety in the workplace. Documentation. So all documentation or report of work health and safety consultation to be submitted within 24 hours of action. The results of risk treatment and escalation of identified problems is also documented. So basically now I would like to ask you 3 questions. So basically, how can employees contribute to work health and safety in the workplace during day-to-day operations?
Can I answer that?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so workers need to be aware of their own safety and the safety of their colleagues. So if workers see, I think if workers see that there is some hazard existing, like if any equipment is out of order or any equipment is in such a state that it has become dangerous to be used by somebody else, then workers can immediately notify the center manager and then get the hazard eliminated or rectified or moved or whatever. So I think this is the only thing that the workers can do: initiate prompt action and take action and remove the reason for hazard or the dangerous thing.
Yes, that
isn't
is
that
correct.
right?
Yes, that is correct, as you can recall from this presentation.
Yeah.
So my next question for you would be, what are some ways you think that can be used to encourage or motivate participants to be actively involved in maintaining a safe workplace? Any ideas?
I think, may I answer the question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that regular fire drill or safety drill can be one of the measures that can make the workers aware as well as engage. Although these will be simulations, but this will give them an impression that what they need to do when a fire breaks out or when an hazard takes place. So this will prepare them and guide them in those situations.
That's a very accurate response. So now my last question for you all is, how can employees participate in consultation to contribute to workplace or work health and safety? Any ideas?
Shall I proceed?
Yes.
Maybe at one point of the presentation, you mentioned about the near miss situations.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so that could be one of the tools to answer this question, because near miss incidents should also be taken into consideration in order to make the whole working environment risk-free or hazard-free as much as possible environment. So that could be one of the, I think, measures.
Yes, that is also a very good response. So as we have come to the end of this presentation, does anyone have any questions?
I have one question, which is, if the center manager is not available, can we inform him or her later, or should we inform the center manager instantly wherever he or she is available? Like, are we allowed to call him or her as an emergency?
I mean, that would be an appropriate course of action, but again, the center manager, if not available, they may be engaged in some other important task as well. So therefore, it is recommended that you report the action, or incident to the next relevant person who is available at the place.
You mean the assistant center manager?
Yes, yes. In case that the assistant center manager is available, when the main center manager is not.
Okay.
And I also think that there should be more than one person responsible, because there should be a hierarchy of responsibility, so that if someone is not there, the first person is not there, the second person can take over. And we can expect this will not happen, that both of the persons who are responsible will be absent at the same time. That is very rare. So there should be a hierarchy of responsibility, especially in a subject like this, because this gets top priority. And so every organization has this first person, and in absence of the first person, second person responsibility, this chain of command maintains this chain of command or chain of responsibility. So in this case, we should also think about something like this.
Yeah, that is correct. In a workplace, in a professional workplace, really, everybody should be prepared for an emergency or something that could be a potential source of risk. So this, this really increases the situational awareness and the problem-solving abilities of everyone. And in this case, people are not just workers in the workplace, and everyone's not like dependent on one person, which is the center manager. They can make independent decisions when it comes to controlling or preventing a danger or hazard, or confining a risk factor that could be an issue later on. So any other questions?
No, I want to make an overall comment on the presentation, if you allow me.
Yes, sure, go ahead.
So I think this presentation was really useful for us, and also the things that you covered were comprehensive. So we got a good guideline from the presentation. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, this is, I think, is a very important issue for any organization. So, and it should actually be communicable to the common staff and to the visitors, or as much as applicable or practicable, so that they know, the visitors who come here and the common staff, they know what to do, how to take the roll call during this type of hazard outside, what is the assembly point outside. So this type of information they should bear in their mind, because when a hazard occurs or when a fire breaks out, it occurs all on a sudden. It does not give any message. So there should be an extempo approach from the staff, and if they are not adequately aware of these policies, procedures, and guidelines, they will be in a scary situation, and they will not be able to understand what to do.
And
They will
there
be
will be a
lost.
very high level of
Yeah.
panic in the
And that will
location.
that will escalate the risks more.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very good comment overall. Yes, I appreciate your contributions. And so as we come
Thank
to
you.
the end of this presentation, I'd like to end this meeting here. So I'll see you guys sometime down the road soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Bye.